What's up, guys? Coach Gaglione here. This is our Road to 220 series. I'm getting ready for Reebok Record Breakers in California this November. I'm doing this meet for a couple of reasons. I want to challenge myself. I realized in 12 years of powerlifting, I've never actually gone on a plane and done a meet. Meanwhile, I've coached many athletes to do some meets that are traveling extensively. So I always want to practice what I preach. It's why I've done weight cuts in the past. It's why I've kind of done equipped lifting, raw with wraps, raw with sleeves, walked out, monolift, you name it, I've done it. So I want to just kind of challenge myself a little bit. And so I'm going to be chronicling the journey of my Road to 220. I weigh about 240 pounds on this particular day. Last month, quick recap, last month I did some gear testing, and I kind of just want to see where I was at. And this is kind of really the first real heavy workout of my meet prep. I'm starting to ramp up the intensity a little bit. This past month, I've been doing a lot of underloading training. So what that means is basically utilizing exercises that I don't need to use a lot of load. So I've been doing a lot of deadlifts with a stiff bar, a lot of beltless work, a lot of safety squat bar work for the squat, a lot of duff low bar work for the bench to extend the range of motion. And every couple of weeks, I'm going to get back in my equipment. I like to get in my competition equipment. I'm doing this meet equipped, so I'm getting in my competition equipment at least once a month. When I do my competition lifts, I like to do a lot of singles and really practice the form. I like to practice my warm-ups, practice my planned openers, and then I like to do some reverse band work. So you can see here, we use these pull-up bars to reverse bands for the deadlift, or I might do some higher board work in the bench shirt. And that's really just to feel the weight, get the nervous system, and the idea is, the plan is, as I'm increasing the weight and getting stronger and learning to express my strength a little bit, getting my technique and my skill sharpened, I'm also reducing the band tension or reducing the board height so I can kind of start to really train my nervous system to handle those weights over and over again and increase the range of motion or increase the difficulty as I get closer to the contest. I'm also a lot of our lifters are doing a local meet in November as well, and I do like to kind of get on a similar program, similar training schedule as our team, because I think it is motivating to train in a group. And I highly encourage, if you are in an area where there's powerlifting teams or powerlifting groups, in-person powerlifting coaches, that you actually absolutely take advantage of that. So on this particular day, one of the things that I'm kind of playing around with this week, I realized when you get on a plane, I have to start to pack all this equipment with me, the squat suits, the bench shirts, etc. So normally I like my Reebok power shoes for squatting and deadlifting. I'd usually wear a weightlifting shoe, a heeled shoe for bench, but I'm experimenting with just wearing the Reebok power shoes for my next bench workout because I don't want to necessarily have to pack two pairs of shoes if I don't need to. So I'm experimenting with that. Also, I had a deadlift suit and I had a squat suit. I'm also experimented on this day wearing my squat suit for deadlift. So potentially I don't need to carry two pieces of equipment with me. So these are just little things that kind of take for granted if you're doing a local meet versus traveling. This may not have a huge effect on you if you're a raw lifter, but it's definitely something to consider either way. The more equipment you have to bring, obviously, the more stuff you have to pack. And for me, I don't want to have to check my equipment bag. I want to keep that as a carry-on. When I get on the plane, just God forbid they lose it and stuff, and then I'm kind of out of luck for the meet. So whether you're an equipped lifter or not, this is really important when you're traveling for a meet. These are things to consider. So just to kind of recap, so that's just kind of a general overview of what the series is going to be about. I'm looking to lose a couple more pounds and then just kind of challenge myself and do a water cut to 220. Main reason being, I've never done a meet at 220 before. My main goal right now is to lean out, be healthier, and still maintain as much strength as possible. And a lot of our lifters, again, some of our high-level lifters are going to be traveling, whether it be long car rides, plane rides. They might have to do a little water cut. I don't necessarily advise a water cut for beginner lifters, but again, this is just me challenging myself, so I'm walking the walk and understanding what my lifters are going through. I have lost some strength, for sure. You lose 100 pounds, it's going to be very hard to keep on strength, but I'm in this for the long haul. So for me, I'm just focusing on just putting one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, and I'm just kind of fighting inch by inch. So on this particular day, the goal was to work up around a second attempt, weight or so with reverse bands. This was also my second time using this particular squat suit, the metal canvas suit. So I worked up to 565, wasn't my best, wasn't my worst. That being said, last meet I only worked up to my heaviest single ever. Last meet prep was 595, I pulled 640 at the meet. So take it for what it is. During my suit testing, I did a 585 deadlift that was very slow, a little sloppy. I thought this 565 was slow, but it moved smoother. I was kind of getting caught on my leg a little bit, so I definitely got to work on just kind of my hand placement and just my timing of my hip extension once the bar leaves my knees. I do think my starting position is improving. I'm also kind of dealing with a little hamstring tweak on the sides. I'm not sure if you guys can tell the difference or not, but I did feel this a lot. So I did a heavier set, 605, with a reverse monster mini band. Again, my hamstring was kind of not really feeling great on that particular set. I thought my hips shot up a little fast, but another successful lift. As I've gotten lighter, I've definitely felt like my positioning is better, and I've been able to grind out deadlifts a little bit easier. In the past, I was not really able to grind deadlifts when I was heavier, so that's positive. And then I worked up to a 635. Had a big sticking point around my knees, but I was able to push through it. I really engaged my lats quite a bit. I was able to keep the bar close, and since I was able to keep the bar close, I was able to push through that lift and finish the rep, which is pretty good. And that was with a light band, and I did 640 in April at a heavier body weight. I was probably like, the meet was at 242, but I was probably like 250, 255 or so on the platform. So being about 15 pounds lighter or so, and obviously I've accumulated a lot of fatigue just from the off season, so I'm pretty happy about that. One of the things that I've been also always trying to do after an equipped workout, a lot of times people tend to pack it in, and I always like to do some raw training even if it's lighter. So I did 2 sets of 5, just at 405 conventional deadlift. I always like to do conventional deadlifts after my sumo, just to make sure my back strength is improving. In my opinion, the conventional deadlift's a really good strength builder in general, and if you're a sumo lifter, I think it's important to include some conventional training in your program, especially far out from a contest, just to kind of build some general strength. So I did 405 for 2 sets of 5. I did a set of 5 at 455 as well. Typically on my volume work and my down sets, I'll just use straps just to kind of save my hands, but I will not use straps on the main work. Then I did some sumo block pulls. I really find the sumo block pulls, we use a 1.5 inch block. It helps really kind of ingrain a proper position and train the hip strength necessary for a sumo deadlift. And I just did some light stiff legs at 315 just to kind of work my back. I did those beltless as well. And again, and also throughout like the training week, also I'll just make sure to do some type of rowing motions, some bent over rows I've been doing, kind of Penley style strict, just to work my upper back a little bit. And I've been doing a lot of pull-ups, like kind of grease the groove style, just getting some volume in, sub-max reps. I'll do those in between some of my upper body work, or sometimes I'll just do that on an off day. And that's kind of how my deadlift training is looking so far. So I'm going to have some volume and some kind of speed work in between until my next kind of heavy training session. After this workout, I'll be getting ready to do some suited squats and some shirted bench this upcoming week. And I'll be kind of doing a similar thing. I'll try to work up around the last warm-up, around an opener-ish weight, and then work up to like a second attempt or so with the reverse bands. And in the case for the bench press, I'll try to work up to around, again, a last warm-up / opener. Typically in the bench work, I'll usually tend to go a little bit higher percent, a little easier to recover from, even in the shirt. Also, I'm not as great a shirt bencher as I am like say a suited squatter or a suited deadlifter, so I can recover a little bit faster from those workouts. And I'll usually go a little bit heavier on those. And we'll use boards instead of reverse bands just because of the logistics. I think reverse bands are still great for the shirt. We don't have a rack here anymore. We just, just logistically it doesn't really fit our needs. So we have 2 monoliths, 2 deadlift platforms, and a combo rack just to accommodate multiple. We could have basically 3 stations of bench, squat, or deadlift depending on that particular day. So training alongside the team, this was our first deadlift workout. This is the Road to 220 to Reebok record breakers. I'm really excited to share my journey with you. Trying to be strong, trying to be lean, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Please share it if you liked it, if it helped you, and feel free to shoot me a message. If you guys need any help, you can check out the links below. And until then, stay strong, and I'll see you next time.